Okay, Q1 help video number 3. We're going over chapter 2, section 1 reading assignment. So, as you can see, most of you have turned this one in, but not true in all my classes. So let's go on ahead and go through this real quick. This assignment asks you to go through and define some important information or some important terms that we were using throughout quarter 1. On top of giving me a definition, it also asks for an example, just so that you can actually connect that to some real physical thing, as opposed to just being a definition that you're barely holding on to in your memory. So once you're done with that, the idea is to come down here and then summarize what you read in 1 to 2 paragraphs. Now, paragraph is about 3 or 4 sentences, so I'm looking for between 6 to 8 sentences of a summary about what you read. The reason I have you summarize what you read is because that requires you to process that information. And as you're processing that information, that means you're incorporating it into your brain to some extent, to your knowledge base. So the act of summarizing is one way to help you memorize and understand the content that you read. So let's go on ahead and real quick and just show you where everything is. Let's talk about the definitions. Number 1, the best thing to do is get your definitions straight out of the reading. And the reason I say that is because Google will lie to you. And I'm gonna show you an example here in just a second. So actually, let's go with niche for the one that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go back over here, go to my reading section, and I am gonna go try and find the word niche. So it's down here, so it's probably a couple of pages in. Obviously, I must have hit the find button and typed up factors because there's a lot of that going on. Biome niche, right here. So a niche is the role or position that an organism has in its environment. Okay, that is the textbook definition, so therefore it's a biology definition. I would go through here and write that down, and then obviously come up with an example for what a niche is. Now, what happens if I go to Google and type in niche? Well, I didn't mean to go to the website. We'll go to google.com. All right, niche is what we're looking for. All right, definition. Well, darn, I actually have to type in definition these days. Okay. Niche, a comfortable or suitable position in life or employment. That has nothing to do with the biology definition. Neither does a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. That's an economic example or definition. What you were looking for was the ecological niche. So this is why I tell you to get your definitions straight from the reading, because Google will lie to you if you don't know what you're looking for. So adding those definitions in, it gives you some examples of what a niche is. So, I mean, you can go through and maybe there are some seeds in a particular environment that are very small and hard to get to. So you have a bird that has a very thin beak, and it can come in there and pick out the seeds of that particular plant. Maybe it's a pine cone, and it's trying to get the seeds out of the pine cone, and it's got a very specialized beak for that. And if it's not there, then there'll be nothing there to eat the seeds and then spread and poop them out and, you know, fertilize them elsewhere. So that's what it's talking about for an example of niche. There's tons of examples. That wasn't the greatest one, but it was off the top of my head. So anywho, this is the chapter 2, section 1 reading assignment.